while Europe called Franz von Lenbach the Prince of Painters and competed for the right to pose for him. A completely different story was unfolding behind the scenes of his life, one that was more personal, quiet, and painfully true. After resounding successes, international travels, and a life between Rome and Munich, Franz von Lenbach suddenly found himself in a completely different role, that of a family man. In 1887, he took a step that many did not expect. He married Magdalena, Countess Moltke. The union of a famous artist and a representative of an ancient family seemed like the perfect story for the newspapers of the time. And at first glance, everything really was just that. In January 1892, their daughter Marion von Lenbach was born, an event that literally turned his inner world upside down. Contemporaries recalled that the artist beamed with pride, and his studio was transformed into a small gallery of Marion portraits. He painted the girl over and over again, watching her grow up. But the fairy tale cover of family happiness cracked very quickly. There was a gulf between Franz and Magdalena, different characters, different habits, different social circles. She was almost uninterested in art, which was the meaning of his whole life. They even spent their free time apart, and over the years the distance only grew. The situation became even more complicated when their second daughter, Erica, was born in March 1895. But instead of joy, there were only shadows. Lenbach painfully suspected that this child might not be his, but belonged to the person he trusted most, the family doctor and former close friend, Ernst Schwenninger. And although there was never any official confirmation of this, the suspicion ate away at the marriage from within. After years of tension and silent distance, they did what had been coming for a long time. In July 1896, Franz and Magdalena divorced amicably. Their paths diverged as quietly as they had once converged. Marion stayed with her father, for whom she had become the most precious person in his life, while little Erica went to live with her mother. This period became one of the most emotional in the artist's life. He lost his family, but not his faith in himself. The pain he experiences only sharpens his gaze, making his portraits deeper, darker, and more penetrating. This is the moment when the artist changes not because of technique, but because of life. A new stage began in 1896, when Lenbach married for the second time, this time to Charlotte von Hornstein. She was younger than him, came from an aristocratic family, and became not only his wife, but also his constant companion at Munich's artistic events. This marriage produced a daughter, Gabriele von Lenbach, who would later also become involved in the cultural life of the city. It was during these years, at the turn of the century, that the artist experienced a mixture of resounding triumphs and internal trials. His personal relationships, parental responsibilities, social status, and the overwhelming number of commissions shaped Lenbach not only as an artist, but also as a person trying to maintain a balance between home and creativity. It is here at this point between fame and fatigue, between family and duty, that the real Lenbach emerges, not an imperial symbol, not an idealized portraitist, but a man who tried to maintain balance in a life where every day brought new victories and new doubts